What's up, YouTube? My name is Pat, and I'm doing a review of my 2020 Fatboy. This Fatboy is outfitted with the Stage 4 engine kit on it and a couple other mods. So far, I've got a little over 2,000 miles on this. I had the kit put in probably about 150 miles into owning the bike. And so far, aside from the engine kit, I put the Vance and Hines big shots, and I also added cruise control to the bike. I'll also show you a couple of the accessories that I bought, being a windshield, the sissy bar luggage rack, and a luggage system from Harley. Quick note about the Harley Davidson accessories. I'm pretty impressed with them so far. They're a little bit pricey than the knockoff stuff, but on a bad note, anything that requires fasteners that it comes with are pretty shitty. Anyways, enough about that. One thing, so as I mentioned, I added the cruise control, a very easy, pretty inexpensive feature to add on. They did it right at the dealership, and it cost me about $300 installed. My main dealership that I deal with is Bartels out of Marina Del Rey, California. Great bunch of guys. So a little bit of history before I really dive into this bike. I've had a few bikes in my life. This was my first kind of Harley. This is basically it's a knockoff. All Ultima frame engine transmission, based off a 98 Softail Heritage. The engine's 120-inch Evo. So love this bike. Now what happened is while I was building this bike out, I went and purchased a 2019 Street Glide Special, which if you look under my channel, you'll see I did a review on that. Real quick about that bike, a bit about me. So I'm 46, I'm 5'9", about 180 pounds, and that bike I put about almost $12,000 into the Street Glide Special. Stage 4 kit, suspension, bars, the list was endless, but the thing is that I just found it wasn't really gelling with the bike, and I kept thinking improvements would do it, but then it just came to a point where I wasn't driving it. I was taking my GSXR bike out instead of my touring bike. My wife and I went on a trip to Vegas, which we live here in Los Angeles, so not a very long ride, and just didn't like it. So I just looked at it one day. I said enough of this, and took a ride down to the dealership and see what we could do. So the sales rep Louie over there kept recommending this bike. I was interested in the Fatboy or the Breakout, and what we did is this actual bike here, I took it out, and I'm not kidding, within 2-3 minutes I realized I found my bike. The one thing I'll say about this bike real quick, about the Street Glide. The Street Glide was actually a great bike. I became good friends with the guy who purchased it. It just wasn't the right bike for me. Mechanically it was great. Unfortunately though, 2 weeks after the new owner got it, the motor actually blew up due to cam bolt. But that's something a little bit different. Real quick about this Stage 4 kit, when I had it in the Street Glide Special, it just didn't work for me. I found it was too jerky. I just didn't like it, and I'm used to high powered bikes and whatnot, but I just found, for me, again, it just wasn't working, to the point that when I got this bike, I was actually just considering doing the Stage 3 kit, because I was worried about having the same problems that I had with the Street Glide Special. But the service manager, Daniel, he talked me out of it and said, just do the Stage 4 on this. He goes, I think we'll have better results. So, anywho, I don't miss the Street Glide Special whatsoever. Again, fantastic bike. I'm not dissing it. It just wasn't the bike for me. Just like this Fatboy wouldn't be for everybody either. But anyways, I'm going to talk about how it's been for me. So, Like I said, I did the stage 4 kit. I put in a K&N filter and these Big Shot, Vance and Hines Big Shot exhaust. I'm going to tell you my little exhaust story. When I first got it, they're throaty and they're really loud. And I live in Beverly Hills, and I was going down Santa Monica Boulevard and got pulled over by the Beverly Hills Police Department. And if you guys think they all just drive a bunch of little petty bikes and a bunch of, you know, little pansy asses, that wasn't the case. Anyways, the cop was actually pretty cool. He gave me a warning. He says, try to quiet this down. You know, I fed him obviously a bullshit line that this was all card compliant and all that, and, you know, didn't work. So I went and got the quiet baffles for it. And you know what? It castrated this bike's sound. It was so awesome. And, you know, I just said, fuck it. I'm going to deal with the tickets as I get them because, you know, I could tell the bike was unhappy, and so was I. So, anywho, when I got these baffles put in, unfortunately, when they take out the original ones, they couldn't reinstall them. So I had to order other ones. And in that process, I had to drive this bike for a couple of days without any baffles at all. And if I thought it was loud with the original baffles, holy shit. You know, I was setting off car alarms everywhere I went. It was kind of fun. Definitely a great way to make friends in Beverly Hills. But screw them. So I love these pipes. It reminds me of an old big block Chevy muscle car sound. I'm going to light this up in a minute. Just keep with the, you know, it is loud. You know, if you're looking for a quiet option, this is definitely not it. But the sound it gives is amazing. And even with the stage 4 kit, you know, you can drive this somewhat civilized to keep the noise down when you're looking to. But when you rip it, people are going to know, and you're going to be moving. So a couple of things I got to mention just about the overall characteristics of the bike. So this one has the 240 rear tire, and I believe the front is a 160. In terms of cornering and maneuverability of the bike, first of all, slow maneuverability on this bike is just incredible. It's so easy to ride. It's such a joy. The one thing though is when you do have speed, as we all know, when riding a bike, counter steering is the way to really get it down. But this one likes to turn into the actual corner. So the one thing is point your elbow where you're looking for the bike to go, and you do have to fight it a little bit. But geez, it's just a first world problem, guys. You know, you just put a little bit of muscle into it. Put your knee and your elbow to the direction you want to go, and she'll go. But what a great bike to drive. I absolutely love this bike. I think this is the coolest street bike I've ever had, and I've had many, as I said, the 2 Harleys, but this, I drive it every day. I drive it every day. To be honest, I kind of wish I bought this bike before I bought this bloody ass car, because the reality is 650 horsepower in a street car, especially here in Los Angeles, makes absolutely no sense. I don't even enjoy the car. The only time I've driven it really since I've bought this bike is a day that it looked like it was going to rain. So just a great, fantastic bike. I'm going to light it up right now for you, and you can hear how she sounds. That is awesome. Crispy. This bike drives awesome. I will say the monoshock setup on this is just amazing. This Stage 4 kit, it's like it's built for this application. It's just incredible. In traffic, on the highway, it's just awesome. I don't recommend it for the Street Glide Special. I think they're really, you could just get away with the stage one, get the tuners in and a different exhaust. And for me, that application would have made way more sense. The stage four, I didn't like it. And it's also been creating a lot of engine problems with the baggers. A lot of the engine problems that you're hearing about with Harley are not associated with the engines for the Softboy. There are changes, or there are differences between the two. Main one is cases, and the also thing from what the service manager at Bartels told me is the cam setup and just the threading of the cam bolts and whatnot. The issues that they're experiencing with the Milwaukee 8s with the stage 4 are all baggers. So I didn't have any problems with mine, but the guy that bought it from me 2 weeks later, he did. When I traded that bike in, it had, I believe, about 2,400 miles on it. This guy rides hard, and he rides a lot. He put on about, I think, about 3,000 miles in like 2 weeks. Like, dude's hardcore. And blew the engine. So anyways, I'm going to just show you a couple of accessories I have for this bike. One is the 16-inch smoke windshield from Harley Davidson, and then one is the sissy bar with luggage rack. And I bought a system that includes a day bag, which is what you're going to see installed. So hang tight.
So, did you